Let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Because I got the mic plugged up to my phone and I don't know if it's working. Can you hear me? Give me an answer in the comments. Okay, good. Awesome. Usually it does, especially for my regular videos. This isn't going to be a long live show, guys. I got to make up for last night. But I did want to update you guys on the brackets. We're headed into the round of 32, and 3 regions are in the books. 3 of them. Region 1, Region 2, and Region 3. So, let's see if some people get some notifications and see if people are happy with who moves on to the next round. Because some of these are really, really close, especially in round 3. I got one that moved on by 1 vote, and that's it. Let's see. Let me look at 2 real quick. Nothing really close in 2, and there's a little bit of a close one in 1, so we'll see how it goes. Appreciate y'all stopping by. How's your weekend going? I did a show with the Facebook group that I do a show with. Usually I do it on Thursday nights, but we're moving it to Sunday nights. So if you want to check that channel out, go to the NBS Central Facebook tomorrow at 10 o'clock. So I won't be live here, but I will be live there. So if you want to see me live, I'll be over on that Facebook group. It'll be college football just like that. But today, or just like this, today I did one with that group, and it went really well. It was fun. It wasn't scheduled. They just said they were covering the draft day 3, I think today is. So they wanted me to get on there and give a college football perspective on these draft picks, because I'll be the first to admit it, I am not an NFL guy. I don't keep up with it. I'm not too familiar with it. I'll watch some games here and there, but I don't keep up with stats, any of that stuff. So I can't, give a professional opinion, or even, in-depth opinion, I guess is the thing I want to say, for NFL, because it's just not my thing. But on draft day, you have these high-profile college players going into the NFL. That I can talk about. So that's what we talked about today. The biggest thing that I was surprised is Kyle Trask getting picked so low. I thought he was going to pick a little higher, at least in round 1. So I was kind of surprised at that. I had him above Fields. I don't think Fields is going to translate into the NFL all that well. I don't think he'll be a bust, but I don't think his game is going to translate into the NFL. I'll say as quickly. Eventually it might, but I don't think it'll be quick. Yes, Kyle Trask did have a bad game against Oklahoma, but he was missing pretty much everybody on offense. He was playing with second-string wide receivers. Of course, Kyle Pitts wasn't in the game. So, how many drop balls were in that game? It was a bunch. I would say that was more on the wide receivers than Kyle Trask. I will say a lot of people are not believing me on how big of a step backwards Florida's going to take this year. It's going to happen, guys. Last year we saw what happened. Dan Mullen took a team that was a Florida team that was quite possibly the most talented Florida team in over a decade. And what happens? They end up with 3 losses. I know one of them was because of a shoe throw. Well, that comes down to discipline. And one of them was because most of the starters on offense didn't want to play. Well, that's because they didn't get to the playoffs. So, that still falls on the coach. 8-3 with what Florida had on offense last year, that's inexcusable. You can't do that. Florida had the talent to be a playoff team, but the coaching is not there. And that's why I think Florida will take a major step back. I have them finishing third or fourth. Definitely second. They're not going to finish above Georgia. That is not happening, guys. It's not. It's not going to happen. So I have Florida falling down to 3 or 4. 2 through 5 is going to be a jumbled mess. A jumbled mess. Georgia is definitely going to be 1. I think Tennessee is going to finish dead last. I really do. Half of their, not half, pretty much their entire team transferred. They did get Virginia Tech transfer Hendon Hooker, but he's not good enough to take a depleted team anywhere. I think Tennessee could end up with 3 or 4 wins next year. I think Vanderbilt could beat Tennessee. Vanderbilt has a lot, and I mean a lot of experience coming back from last year's team. I think Vanderbilt will get out of the basement finally, not because they're a good team, but because Tennessee will be that bad. Here's your bowl teams for the SEC. Number 1, Georgia. They're going to the playoffs, of course. This is the SEC East, by the way. I think South Carolina gets to a bowl. I think Missouri gets to a decent bowl, actually. I think Florida barely gets to a bowl. I'm thinking 7-5 or 8-4 at the best. It might be a 6-6 season. I don't know. Tennessee doesn't make a bowl. Kentucky doesn't make a bowl. And I don't think Vanderbilt makes a bowl. We'll see. I think Vanderbilt has one of their best chances of making a bowl that they've had in quite a while. But, yeah, Vanderbilt's Vanderbilt. But I do expect them to get out of the basement. So, Georgia, I expect them to get to the playoffs. Missouri is like on the next tier, so I expect Missouri maybe a 9-3 season, something like that. South Carolina, I think they'll go 7-5, something like that. And then Florida, same thing. And then the rest will not. So the SEC East is not going to be very good at all. So, yeah, I'm liking the quarterback competition at West Virginia. Our defense will take a step back, but we were so elite last year that a step back was inevitable anyways. I think we'll still be a top 25 defense, just not a top 10. And with our offense taking a step in the right direction, I think West Virginia will be fine. A lot of people are freaking out about all the transfers or out of all the players that are hitting the transfer portal. But if you do your research, you'll see that Oklahoma has the same amount of people transferring. Kids hitting the transfer portal is not necessarily a bad sign. Now, if you're like Tennessee and your entire team transfers and it's your top tier talent, then yeah, that's a problem. But, you know, it's... For West Virginia, it's more of a sign of we have a lot of depth. And a lot of people... now, we know Tyke Smith left because a day went to Georgia, and he wanted to follow his defensive backs coach. So, little scenarios here and there, but overall, West Virginia's fine. Our fans need to chill out. We'll be fine. Neil Brown headed in the right direction. Low-hanging fruit getting cut off the tree. Kids that are not wanting to put in the effort to have a good football team are transferring, trying to find an easier way. We're seeing the difference between Holgorsen and head coach Neil Brown. Holgorsen just tried to get a lot of transfer recruits in, high caliber, and he did. But what was the best season West Virginia had? We had that 110-win season, but the Big 12 was terrible that year. The 2 decent teams, Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, that year we got blasted by them, and then we got blasted by Miami. So that didn't really, say much. Under Holgorsen, West Virginia was the era of mediocrity. We had one really bad year, but no really good years. It was all just mediocre, kind of right down the middle. Neil Brown is trying to do how West Virginia has to work it. Derwake's in the house. He's a Texas Tech fan. He knows the same situation. We are fans of these schools that have to build, and then everything comes together, experience, talent for that 1 year, and then we got to start over, build. We're not like Alabama, Clemson, Oklahoma, Ohio State. whatever, where they're consistently up there. Might have a little bump where they have 2 or 3 losses in the season, but consistently playoff caliber. West Virginia, Texas Tech, Baylor, Kansas State, Oklahoma State. We're not like that. We have top 30 recruiting classes sometimes. That's really good for teams like us, and then you just build until you get that season where all those youngsters that you recruited 3-4 years ago are now grown up. They're talented and they're ready to make a run. But you better be aware that the year after that run, it's going to be back to rebuilding again. That's just how it is whenever you're in a lower tier school. Under head coach Don Nehlen, that's how West Virginia was. He would build. Then we had Major Harris, got the national championship. Then he was gone. West Virginia was bad again. We were back in 93, undefeated. The year after, we sucked again. We had a chance in 97, I think, to be a good team, but we all know how that ended. That's just how the cycle goes with teams like West Virginia and the second tier teams. We're not a bad program. We're just not elite. So us as West Virginia fans need to know how to read the situation. And that's how you read it. Not we're trying to compete with Oklahoma every year. There will be those years once every 4 or 5 years where we will be able to compete with Oklahoma and have the talent and experience to beat them. But not an every year thing. So just learn how to read the situation and let's not run out a good coach again. Please, guys, don't be stupid and run your mouth and act like you know what you're talking about and run out a really good coach. Because Neil Brown we're super lucky to have this guy. Super lucky. And I just don't want that to happen. So relax. We're good. We're building. All right, now let me update you guys on our brackets real quick. The round of 32 is starting to take shape. Second round voting for regions 1, 2, and 3 is over, and I have the results. And if you're in the chat, don't forget to hit that like button. That helps with the YouTube algorithm. All right, so here we go. In Region 1, moving on to the round of 32, Washington State, the 1 seed, beats the number 9 seed, Louisville, 16 votes to 5. That's a lot of votes. 21 votes in Region 1. That's good. That is really good. I appreciate that, guys. So the 1 seed, Washington State, in the first round, they beat the 16 seed, FAU. And now they beat the 9 seed, Louisville, and Washington State is in the round of 32. Next team in Region 1, the 5 seed, East Carolina, moves on over the 13 seed Old Dominion, 17 votes to 4. That's pretty one-sided as well. So the 5 seed East Carolina beat the 12 seed Colorado, 11 votes to 3. And then in the second round, they beat the 13 seed Old Dominion 17 to 4. So it was actually a bigger gap. I still don't know how Old Dominion ended up in the second round. They beat Kent State by 1 vote. Anyways, so bottom half of this bracket. The 3 seed Iowa State beats the 6 seed San Diego State 12 votes to 9. So they move on. So Iowa State's path looks like this right now. First round, they beat the 14 seed New Mexico State 10 to 4. And then in the second round, they beat San Diego State, the 6 seed, 12 to 9. So now they're in the round of 32. They're going to have a tough one in the round of 32 because moving on is the 2 seed Miami of Florida. Miami of Florida has a really good logo. 16 votes to 4. They beat the 7 seed Ohio, and they move on to the round of 32. So Miami's path looks like this so far. First round, they beat the 15 seed New Mexico, 13 votes to 1. Just 1 vote for New Mexico. And then in the second round, they beat the 7 seed Ohio, who, by the way, upset the 10 seed Oklahoma 8 to 5. I know seeding it doesn't look like an upset, but if you look at logos and Oklahoma, that's a pretty prominent logo. That's an upset in my eyes. So an impressive voting victory for Miami over Ohio, 16-4. So round of 32 matchups in Region 1. It's going to be the 1 seed Washington State. These are going to get better and better, guys. Better and better. In the round of 32, Region 1, it's going to be the 1 seed Washington State against the 5 seed East Carolina. That's going to be a good one. Those are two pretty good logos. And then in the bottom half is going to be the 3 seed Iowa State against the 2 seed Miami of Florida. I think that'll be a good one as well. I still like Miami. I think they have a really good logo. All right, so now time for Region 2. The 1 seed Wisconsin beats the 8 seed Liberty 13 votes to 5. 13 votes to 5. So here's what their path looks like. They beat the 16 seed Cal 9-5. And then in the second round, they actually stretched their victory 13-5 over the 8 seed Liberty. So they move on. They will be going up against the 4 seed UAB. UAB got 16 votes. The 12 seed TCU only got 3 votes. So here's what UAB's path looks like. In the first round, they beat 13 seed Navy 13-5. And then in the second round, they beat the 12 seed TCU 16-3. So they have made the round of 32. Bottom half of this bracket, the 6 seed Tulane beats the 3 seed Georgia Southern, a mild upset, 12 votes to 6 votes. So they doubled up Georgia Southern. So here's what Tulane's path looks like. First round, they beat the 11 seed UL Monroe 15 votes to 3. And then in the second round, they beat the 3 seed Georgia Southern 12-6. So they're in the round of 32. And then the very last matchup, Alabama rolls. They roll. The 2 seed Alabama beats the 7 seed Middle Tennessee 14 votes to 4. So Alabama moves on. Here's what their path looks like. First round, they beat the 15 seed UMass 12-7. UMass got more votes than I thought they would. So y'all turned out for that one. And then, of course, they beat the 7 seed Middle Tennessee 14-4. So round of 32 matchups for Region 2. Number 1, the 1 seed Wisconsin will take on the 4 seed UAB. That's going to be a good one. And then the bottom half of this bracket, the 6 seed Tulane will take on the 2 seed Alabama. Now here's Region 3. I'm starting to get nervous for West Virginia. We're about to go up against a big-time logo, guys. Because number 1, West Virginia does move on with ease again. We had 2 favorable matchups. I've already put out Regions 6, 7, and 8 today. I did one video for 6, 7, and 8. It's already out to vote on. So, West Virginia moves on. They beat the 9 seed SMU 16 votes to 3. So, they won. But SMU did get 3 votes because in the first round, West Virginia beat the 16 seed Wake Forest 17-0. So West Virginia's path looks like this. In the first round, they beat the 16 Wake Forest 17 votes to no votes. And then in the second round, they beat the 9 seed 16-3. That's still a pretty good margin. They will be taking on the 12 seed Texas. I'm nervous, guys. I'm very nervous. Because the 12 seed Texas did beat the 4 seed Charlotte 12 votes to 7. So here's what Texas's path looks like. In the first round, they beat the 5 seed Boston College 10-7. So they only got out of the first round by 3 votes. But then they expanded their victory margin, beating the 4 seed Charlotte 12 votes to 7. So more people showed out for that one and expanded their victory margin. All right, next team to make it to the round of 32 is the 6 seed Arkansas. They beat the 14 seed Tennessee 16-3, not even close. Their path looks like this. In the first round, they beat the 11 seed Wyoming 11 votes to 6. And then in the second round, they beat the 14 seed Tennessee 16 votes to 3. So, yeah, they smashed Tennessee in voting. They will be taking on the 2 seed UConn. UConn, the 2 seed, beat the 7 seed UTEP by 1 vote. 1 vote. 10 votes to 9. That was a close one. So here's what UConn's path looks like right now. In the first round, they beat the 15 seed North Texas 10 votes to 7. And then in the second round, they barely beat the 7 seed UTEP 10 votes to 9. So here's what the round of 32 matchups look like. It's going to be the 1 seed West Virginia against the 12 seed Texas. That's legit. That's a legit matchup. Texas has a pretty good logo. And then under that, it's going to be the 6 seed Arkansas against the 2 seed UConn. So, you know, if West Virginia does keep advancing, keep in mind the matchups are going to get tougher because, you know, you're going to run into some better logos. But I'm still excited about these logo brackets. They've gone very, very well. Joey Foster is already trying to give West Virginia a little bit of a head start. So let me mark that real quick. $5 super chat. So that's going to be 5 votes for West Virginia. He's trying to ensure a victory. Hey, that's the rules. You're taking advantage. By the way, if y'all are new to this, y'all don't know the rules for voting, I put out videos for these brackets every day. So you can either vote on the comments on the video. That counts as 1 vote. Or in the live show, if you super chat, every dollar that you super chat, every dollar that you spend is a vote for the team of your choosing. So even if your team is not in these brackets, but your rival is, then you could actually send those votes to the team that's going up against your rival to make sure that your rival doesn't advance. So it can work many different ways. But I marked down the 5 votes for Texas. I feel a little bit better. Because Texas does have a pretty good logo. And y'all got to realize, whenever I put out these bracket videos, I pump them everywhere. I don't just, put them out to my West Virginia Facebook groups. I have Texas Facebook groups. I have general, regular sports Facebook groups that have like 30,000 members, 12,000 members. So I try to make it as even and fair as possible. So hopefully we have a lot of votes for the round of 32. After that, we'll be on to the Sweet 16. When you start saying the words Sweet 16, that's when you know you're getting close. But we still have a little ways to go, but we're getting there. Videos for Region 4. Hold on, let me think. I did a video for Regions 4 and 5, either yesterday or the day before. And then today, it was yesterday. I did 4 and 5. And then today I did 6, 7, and 8, all in the same video. So, y'all go check out those videos. Don't forget to vote. And we'll see who advances to the round of 32. I think I'll close the voting on those on Wednesday. I think that's fair, Wednesday. Usually, by then, that's the most votes that particular video is going to vote. So don't forget to turn out for that. Watch them videos and vote for the logo you think should advance to the round of 32. I'm excited. It's done a lot better than what I thought it would. And yes, Joey, I have counted that $5 towards West Virginia. I marked it down. So let me do the chat shout out real quick. So Reese is in the house. Scott's in the house. Joey Foster, he's the one that super chatted $5 for 5 votes for West Virginia. Rick Sanchez is in the house. Derwake. That's a good Texas Tech fan, by the way, guys. He's a good one. He's one of the good ones. Let's see, who else? I'm surprised. I haven't seen... Oh, Talk is Pitt. There he is. I haven't seen Wisconsin fan in my lives in a while. And he was asking about it yesterday. Sea Dog is in the house. Basketball Legend, he's in the house. Let's see, anybody else? I was hoping Wisconsin fan could stop by because he was staying up for my live show last night, but I got back so late I couldn't do it. Pizza Woman has stopped by. What's going on? So yeah, this was just going to be a quick update. I did talk some college football. I wasn't expecting to do that, but I did a draft show earlier today talking about who the players that got drafted kind of resemble as far as their style and the way they play. It was a good one. So if y'all want to check out that live show that I did for the NBS Central Facebook group, just go check them out. And it should be the video from today. And then, what day was that, did I say? Tomorrow, my Bragging Rights live show on the NBS Central will be on at 10 o'clock. So if you want to check that live show out, it won't be on here, but it will be on the NBS Central Facebook group. So go check it out. Derwake says, the blue and gold, I might be going to the West Virginia versus Texas Tech game. Yeah, that would be sweet. It's in Morgantown this year. I know for sure that I'm going to the Texas game. I'm trying to get tickets to the Virginia Tech game, and I might try to go to the Texas Tech game as well since you're going. That would be pretty sweet. Usually I only go to about 1 or 2 games a year, but, it'll be cool. Talkus Pitt says Marshall is better than both Pitt and West Virginia. No, Marshall is not better than either of those teams. Pitt is better than Marshall, and West Virginia is better than Marshall. If you watched Marshall last year, they started off the season strong, and then they fell off a cliff. Their quarterback was being talked about as a Heisman hopeful at the beginning of the year, then he just started sucking really bad. So, yeah, they're not going to be good. I think they'll be a bowl team again, but they're not going to be better than West Virginia or Pitt, to be honest with you. I think, I know we've talked a lot of trash, but like truth, I think Pitt gets to a bowl at 6-6, and I think West Virginia gets to a bowl at probably 7-5. If we're lucky, 8-4. I did have us at 8-4 solidly, but with the transfers, I think 7-5, and that's still a step in the right direction. If our fan base starts talking trash and acting like idiots, I will shut that down immediately. 7-5 is fine for what we have. And we'll keep building on it, and we'll have an even better year. I think West Virginia will be capable of competing for the Big 12 championship in 2 years. Well, technically 3. Not this season, not the season after that, but in Garrett Green's 3rd year. That's when West Virginia will be able to compete for the Big 12 championship. Quarterback battle. Here's where I stand with that. I think that Jarrett Daggy will be the starting quarterback to start the year. But throughout the season, Garrett Green will win the job. I think over the practices, Jarrett Daggy will win it, if that makes any sense. So he'll start, but then throughout the season, the more the coaches get to see of Garrett Green, he will. By the end of the year, Garrett Green will be West Virginia's starting quarterback. So, and that's actually pretty good for West Virginia because, teams will be game planning for Daggy, and then we'll be morphing into the Garrett Green era, and then, I'm hoping we time it to where that first start for him will be against a team that maybe is evenly matched with us or might be a little bit better than us. I'd say like a Kansas State or a TCU, and that might give West Virginia that extra edge to beat that team because, maybe they're preparing for Daggy and we start Garrett Green that day. So, yeah. The two teams that I think will take the biggest step forward this year in the Big 12 will be Kansas State and TCU. Those two teams, I think they'll jump over Oklahoma State I think West Virginia will be right there with Oklahoma State. It's going to be Oklahoma, Iowa State. I'll have to redo my Big 12 standings. A lot of things happen over the offseason, so I've already done a standings video, but that was a while back. Things have changed, so I'm going to change my rankings, and it'll probably change again before the beginning of the season. That's why you have to, base your rankings on what has happened up to this point. Nobody can predict the future. Different things happen. Players transfer out and players transfer in. It's just very unpredictable. So I'm gonna do a video on that. I'm gonna update it. Hopefully y'all like that, and we'll see how that goes. But I'm going to get off here, guys. This was just a little quick video, especially since I didn't get to do one last night. Whenever y'all get off here, don't forget to watch those other videos on the logo brackets and vote. And if you're watching this live show and you're not a subscriber, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You can ask the people in the chat, all my subscribers, college football videos every single day. I do videos every day. I do not miss a day. So, hit that subscribe button. We're well past 1,000 subscribers, so grow with us, and we're aiming for 5,000. That's the next goal. So help us get there. Can't do it without you. I'm gonna go off here, guys. I hope y'all have a good night. I hope you had fun, and check out the rest of the logo bracket videos and vote. All right. I'll see y'all Monday night for the next live show.